What's going on, guys? K-Pine here and welcome back. And in this video, I'll be featuring an absolutely busted team in the 2025 Championship Series Cup. The team features a Togekiss Lead, which has play into essentially everything in this meta, and yes, I'm running Dazzling Gleam. You can run Psyshock if you want to help with the ghosts, but I'm enjoying Gleam for the Mirror, Dragons, Medicham, which are seeing an uptick, and a last-second nuke. The rest of the team consists of a Dewgong safe swap, as well as 4 opposing flyers, and that ever-present Oranguru closer. I went on an 18-7 run with the team, including 4 4-1 sets that brought me into the top 100 on the global leaderboards, where in this video, I'll be featuring battles from 2 of those 4-1 sets I had. And with that, let's get right into the battles. Alright, getting to the first battle, we lead Togekiss into the Mirror. And now this is why I do have Dazzling Gleam on my Togekiss, because even if your opponent has Ancient Power, Dazzling Gleam does more, so that you land the Gleam here, you can just farm them down. I do shield to respect the Gleam in return. It is the Ancient Power, which works out as well, but even then, they land an Ancient Power, they land a Psyshock, so like they throw before you get to the Gleam, you can let it go, and you'll survive it, be fine, and win the zeros. Here I go for the Gleam bait, we do successfully get the shield, then I'm going to bank a move and then pivot into my Oranguru. I cannot pivot into the Dewgong because of those dynamic punches, but Oranguru, I do have to keep alive and healthy, because obviously if they pivot out like they do here, I don't want my Dewgong having to eat a dynamic punch in the end game, so I will shield that move and try and work with whatever their third is. In this case, it is an Abomasnow, so that is very doable. Going for the Brutal Swing lands, I pivot into Dewgong, and now I'm going to get the Ice Shard down, because like I said, I need my Oranguru around for that Dusknoir. In comes Dusknoir. I try and throw my move right away, and had some lag, so it forced an overtap. Either way, my opponent throws right away on what would be the CMP tie, so the overtap does not matter. Here, they have to go for a Dynamic Punch to KO me. They do not have it. I hang on with the Shadow Punch, and we're able to take that one. GG's. Next battle, Togekiss into Metang. You may think this is a terrible lead because they have Gyro Ball. It is not a bad lead at all. You just stay in this and you do not shield their first move, because if it is a Gyro Ball, which it is here, you can hang on and get to the back-to-back Aura Spheres. First Aura Sphere will land, and then we're going to fire off the second one, and then we're going to pivot into Dewgong. You will most likely get shield advantage here, which is fine. You just got to pivot out right away because you do not want to give up that farm down of your Togekiss, as well as save your Togekiss for potential catch in an endgame. And that's why I like to call the move against an opposing Metang, because you reach double Aura Sphere anyways, and if they go for a Psyshock to start with, you have identical pacing, 10 turns to Aura Sphere, 10 turns to Psyshock, so you're always going to reach a second Aura Sphere before their second Psyshock. And you'll be able to dictate it that way as well. So play it out, no shield it, you're good to go. Here they have a Goodra. They do end up baiting, and that's unfortunate because I can't quite get the farm down, and now I have to pivot out and use my Togekiss for that catch like we said. But regardless, we will be in a decent spot if they're coming in with Goodra into my Dewgong, as it is their own Kiss. And being able to get this Icy Wind debuff off is going to be very crucial, because they cannot farm us down. They have to throw a move. And with that, this game will be over, because I can just bring in an Oranguru, start chunking away with these confusions. They are debuffed as well, so these Aura Spheres are not doing enough damage. In comes Goodra. They leave with a move, but this does not KO. And guess what does KO? Trailblaze. And anyways, even if Trailblaze did not KO, we're not in 2-peck range. So we are in a very good position here, as the Trailblaze does KO the Togekiss. GG's. Next battle, Togekiss into Dewgong. Now this is an interesting lead matchup, and there is one way I like to play it. Throw 7 pecks and then the Aura Sphere. Whether you get the shield or not, dip into Dewgong. Now, it's up to you whether you want to throw 1 more peck and then dip into your Dewgong to try and catch an Icy Wind because your opponent's trying to throw on good timing, or if you want to dip into your Dewgong right away. I play it safe. I like to dip into my Dewgong right away, just in case they do under tap that Icy. I don't want to have to use a shield yet onto my Togekiss. But if you're banking on your opponent throwing on good timing, then throwing that one peck and then swapping into your Dewgong makes the catch a lot easier. So it's really up to you there what you want to do. Here we tank the debuffed Ice Punch. In comes Oranguru. We're going to throw one peck then the Aura Sphere. We're not going to quite reach another Aura Sphere, so we will throw that one peck and swap out. That way, if my Togekiss does end up on the Oranguru in the end game, we are only one peck away and we will be able to get it without getting farmed down. Here I know that the Brutal Swing from the opposing Oranguru is going to do the most damage, so I use my final shield on it because I was quite sure a Brutal Swing on my end wouldn't quite KO'd yet, so I would rather over farm and get as much farm as I could before I needed to take it out. Here I swap into Togekiss. If I get that peck down, I will win the game, but I unfortunately just fall short of that peck down. For here, my opponent still has a shield left. We have the back-to-back Brutal Swing, but we are in Icy Wind range and we will not be able to fire them off. Well played by my opponent. Next battle, Togekiss into Glalie. Again, you may think this is a bad lead. It's a rollout user with Avalanche. It is not a bad lead. Togekiss vastly outpaces and wins the 2-shield scenario here. So that's exactly what we're going to play to. Always making sure we're throwing on good timing after 1, 4, or 7 pecks as a 2-turn move user against a 3-turn. They let the first one go and then pivot into Charizard. Here I'm going for the Aura Sphere because I'm thinking it's a Charizard. They're going to think I'm on Psyshock. They're 100% going to shield this. They don't. They let it go. And I'm like, oh shoot. Well, you know, it still did a nice chunk of damage, but it feels kind of like a waste at this point. But it's okay. We correctly shield the Blast Burn. We go down 2 shields to 0, which, you know, a lot of situations you don't recommend doing. But Oranguru is so valuable that just managing its energy properly is going to take you extremely, extremely far. Here we do have a Brutal Swing banked. They go for Fly. It does not KO. They try and catch the energy on Glalie. I swap to Togekiss. Can't get the peck down in time. That is fine. I can get an Ice Shard head start. And from here, this should just be game. Because if they Brave Bird right here, I can Icy Wind to get their final shield and Brutal Swing to KO them. So they're forced to go for the Fly. Throwing on good timing, 3 Ice Shards for their 2 Incinerates. And with that, they are in Brutal Swing range. We throw 1 Ice Shard to watch the Incinerate come through, swap, and then combo play with that Brutal Swing. GG's to my opponent. Next battle, Togekiss into Skarmory. Not a good matchup, and you may think Skarmory is a core breaker for this team. But Skarmory is just so bad now that even if it's in its positive matchups, it's just not really that good. So I do throw a peck first to see if it is on Steel Wing or Air Slash. It is on that Steel Wing. So we do pivot into Dewgong. Bait out a Medicham. And this matchup is looking pretty bad now. Like hard counter on the lead, hard counter on the swap. We'll see what we can do. And this is where Togekiss gets to put in work. We tank an Ice Punch. And we're just going to straight up farm this Medicham down all the way. Leave with 2 Aura Spheres, of which we're going to fire off back to back into the Skarmory and then pivot into the Guru. Skarmory is bulky, but Togekiss hits hard, so these Aura Spheres do chunk. Bring it down into the yellow. They have a Gyarados in the back, and we just double shield the Guru here against the Gyarados, and it's game. I'm going to ramp up our Confusions with the Trailblaze, which gets a shield. We shield in return. They go for the Crunch. That is very nice. Now we're going to go for the Brutal Swing. This will get their final shield. And from here, this game's just over because we farm down the Gyarados and we will leave with a Brutal Swing for the Skarmory. Or if they pivot into the Skarmory right now, its pacing is so bad. We outpace and win the CMP tie against the Skarmory. And now in comes the Gyarados, so we can just Confusion it down. GG's. Next battle, Togekiss into Shadow Metang. Now, Shadow Metang's a little bit more tricky because you will get one shot by that Gyro Ball. So always make sure you're throwing off your Aura Sphere first. And I just like to call the bait. Most Metangs I've come across do Psyshock, even if they're Shadow. So you're in a good spot there, because as you'll see, we're always going to be outpacing at this point. So their only play is to either give up Switch, really, or to catch your Psyshock, of which, again, is giving up Switch. But if they end up playing to the CMP tie in that situation and they shield, then you just let it go and get energy on your Dewgong and go about the match from here. But they come in Gyarados, they cannot farm me down all the way, and I'm going to come in Guru. Now, I'm reading that Dewgong's going to be a lot more valuable in the back. Metang Lead, strong against Dewgong. They come in Gyarados. I'm reading Gyarados is a Dewgong bait out, of which it is because they have an Altaria. And this match is just pretty much over from there, which my opponent does realize, so they concede. Jeez. Next battle, Togekiss into Dewgong. We know how to play this already. 7 pecks in the Aura Sphere, then your choice to swap right away, or play it a little risky, go for an extra peck, and then the swap into the Dewgong to kind of choreograph that catch a little better. Like I said, I like to pivot right away. I don't want to risk it. Play a little bit more safe than sorry in this kind of situation, as I have had a couple people under tap the Icy Wind, and it's very nice being able to catch that on my Dewgong, but vast majority do go for that extra Ice Shard for good timing. Here they come in Guru. You go for the Icy Wind to start, another Icy Wind there. Perhaps I should have gone for the Joe Run, because I think I might have been able to get the farm down, but this works too. We just swap, catch the Trailblaze on the Togekiss, and we will shield the Icy Wind because we have a lot of energy and we can threaten this Dewgong. Throwing on good timing, firing off that Aura Sphere, lands onto the Dewgong, and here, Togekiss did its job. I can let it go, and then come in Guru, because this Dewgong is energy dry, so we're going to get the perfect farm down against it, leave with a ton of energy, and no matter what comes in this meta, Guru with that much energy is basically unbeatable. So it's an Incinerate Turt, one confusion in the move, then another confusion, then the move. And from here, this is just game over. Way too much damage done on the turret at this point that I can let this go and save my shields for Dewgong. And don't even think a Brutal Swing KOs from there. It does not. Opponent tries to snipe down my Guru with their own. We do not fall for it and are able to take that one. GG's. Togetic Lead. Another reason why we do have Dazzling Gleam on the Togekiss is because if you land a Dazzling Gleam onto the Togetic, which you basically always do, they don't shield the first, you can tank an Ancient Power, shield an Ancient Power, and then farm them down before they reach a third. We'll see here, first one lands, second one we shield, and then we will get the farm down, of which my opponent realizes, so they pivot out into a Turtonator. I go for the Gleam. I should have gone for an Aura Sphere, of which my opponent shields, so kind of makes it a little bit worse there. And now we're going to pivot into Dewgong. Dewgong, we're going to fire off an Icy Wind. Turts like to shield, but this one does call it. That is okay, because we are getting some nice damage off anyways. They reach another Claw here, of which we would be able to survive, but I decided in the moment I want to preserve some HP on my Dewgong to potentially debuff whatever comes in afterwards or is there in the end game. And it is a Dust Noir, so we bank a move. I was expecting to catch the Shadow Punch onto my Guru, so they didn't have to take a move with my Dewgong. And I'm like, well, shoot, I should just stayed in and thrown the move at this point, and I'd be in a great spot. So here, they have a move that's like, okay, that's fine. I now have an end game decision. I wait out my clock. I come in with Dewgong, expecting them to pivot because they know I have a move, try to catch it on Togetic, but they don't. They just continue to farm. And I don't know. I guess I got the call wrong, but it is what it is. Well played to my opponent. GG's. Next battle, Medicham Lead, and this is where we absolutely love to have Dazzling Gleam on the Togekiss. Ice Punch will land, so guess what? We just overfarm, CMP tie to their next Ice Punch, which is 5-4-5-4 counts, just to keep that in mind. Land the Gleam. Goodbye, Medicham. Land the Aura Sphere on the Dewgong that came in, and now we're going to pivot into our own, as well as save our Togekiss to potentially reach another Aura Sphere in the end game, or use it for a potential catch. They land a Joe Run, and now we're constantly over farming, because if they leave this matchup, we want to have a lot of energy to threaten whatever comes in, as well as watch for potential catch. Here I go for the Joe Run. This does end up being on CMP tie, which is nice information to have, to know that I do win CMP tie here. They land a drone on my Dewgong, so I'm going to over farm. And since they now know I win CMP tie, I'm going to farm up to once before, swap into Togekiss, catch the move. They undercharge, but it does not matter, because I can come back into my Dewgong, play to the CMP tie yet again, and I go for an Icy Wind, because I'm pretty sure this is about Icy Wind range. My opponent shields it, and that's just fantastic, because now this Joe Run, I survive. They come in Gyarados, but 2-shield Guru, just gonna run through that Gyarados, and my opponent realizes it, so they do concede. GG's. Next battle, Togekiss into Turtonator. This is a fantastic lead. Can't really get any better than that. Some Turtonators, they're running a little cheeky moveset of Overheat, but vast majority are running Brutal Swing and Dragon Claw. Here my opponent pivots into Dewgong, so I'm going to throw 6 Hex, then the Aura Sphere to take advantage of that one turn it takes for my opponent to swap, and then pivot to my own Dewgong. A lot of Dewgong safe swaps are trying to bait out a Guru, because it does a pretty good job of neutralizing it. So in that sense of a Dewgong safe swap, I'm gonna chip it first with the Togekiss, get shield advantage, or do some nice damage, and then come in with my own Dewgong. And here they have a Celio in the back, so it appears it was a bit of a bait out for the Guru. We tank Surf number 1, and we're gonna tank move number 2, which is the Body Slam. Another Body Slam doesn't quite take us out, so we're going to fire off the Showblaze. Opponent making a lot of catches and swaps, playing it well, but they cannot farm down. This is an Ember Turret, so a little bit faster pacing, which allows them to get to that Brutal Swing before I reach my own Brutal Swing. They CMP tie, and I'm going to let my Guru go, because I know my Togekiss and Dewgong have a ton of play in this endgame. And as long as they're not on Overheat, which they are not, I will be able to do very well here. Land this Aura Sphere. The turret survives on 1 HP. A little unfortunate, but it's fine, because my Togekiss is not needed anymore, where Dewgong will be able to handle their own mons. They come in with their own Dewgong to force some energy away from me, which I do throw with the Joran, and now they come in with their Celio. And with the shield that I just used on the Body Slam, there's just nothing really my opponent can do, considering how low their Celio is over. They played it really well, tried to jump around with swaps and energy as best as they could, but we were able to take that one in the end. GG's. So there you have it, an absolutely fantastic team for you all to use in the 2025 Championship Series Cup, especially if you're looking to make any last minute pushes since we're nearing the end of the season. Personally, I've really enjoyed this cup so far, with it being a heavily energy management based one, where this team really lets that shine. So let me know down below what you think of this cup and how the team goes for you if you do decide to use it. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate you. If you enjoyed it, please drop a like, subscribe, and comment down below. Love to hear what you have to say. And with that, I'll catch you in the next one.